After 11 weeks, it is finally time to say goodbye to running the Thameslink network. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. Yep, today is a very sad day, the last day of running Thameslink, which is absolutely nuts to think about. It's the fact that I've ran the Thameslink network, not just on the tube map, but on the rail map as well. It's wild. But before we get into all of that though, let's talk about this route today. For today's route, we found ourselves back in the south. We started at Upper Wallingham. We're going to be calling at Riddlesdown, Sanderstead and South Croydon. So it is just a short run today. It's about like 7, maybe 8 kilometers. So it is a nice shorter run in comparison to the long ones that we have done recently. Now, while we're in the vicinity of Riddlesdown, you do have Riddlesdown Park Run that's here, which I have been to a couple of times. I really enjoyed this one. I do really like this park run because at the very top of the hill you get beautiful views of Croydon and even as far as London on a clear day. It's absolutely stunning. So, running Thameslink. Where do you even begin to start with talking about Thameslink? I guess what is such a joy about running Thameslink is that it really does take in the length and breadth of London. And for what Thameslink has shown so far, it really is the defining thing as to what Runderground is all about, where you don't really have to travel far at all to get to some beautiful spaces, and even to get some slightly unexpected sort of surprise moments, I guess. But let's dig into what have been some of the best moments of running Thameslink. I know that this is quite a peculiar kind of thing to start with. However, when I first heard that Thameslink was going back on the tube map, I was so excited to see so much of, like, even more of London represented. Another key highlight was, of course, running with Tom Moran, the managing director of Thameslink. We are with none other than Mr. Tom Moran. However, I can't not mention, of course, the St Albans South signal box. Absolutely not a chance that I couldn't mention that. He's a signalman now. Speaking of Underground as well, absolutely wild, but it was around this time last year where I'd finished running the entire London Underground, as if that was 1 year ago. Oh my god. 4.12 kilometres, we're here at Riddlesdown Station. I'm pretty certain the next station is Sanderstead, I think. Alright, now it's time for the most controversial question. What was some of the worst bits of running Thameslink? I don't really like saying worst bits because there wasn't really any bits that were like bad per se. I would say that there were certainly bits that were challenging. So what were some of the most challenging bits? One of the most challenging was from St Pancras to Elstree and Bournemouth, only because I think the distance had a big influence to it. I think it was about 33 kilometres, and it was exactly the same when I ran from Luton Airport Parkway to Elstree and Bournemouth. That was about 35k, so just that section in particular from St Pancras to Luton Airport Parkway, pretty challenging. Now, what was it that made it the most challenging? Well, I think it was because the biggest influence was the distance between the stations. I think the average distance between stations was like 9, maybe 10k, and mentally when you're wanting to fixate on like the next station and the next thing, like when you're hitting a wall and you're not seeing that, you just, I don't know, like you begin to unravel. At least I do anyway. So yeah, that was pretty tough. 6.4 kilometres, we're finally here at Sanderstead Station. Ooh. So that means we only have one station left until Thameslink is complete. Now, with running Thameslink, is there anything that I would do differently? Yes and no. There's something that I've learned from, which I'm going to be implementing in future videos. Let's talk about that. One of the things that I recognised about running Thameslink was that I did make the running sections a little bit too long. So when I was saying that, oh, you know, I was shattered, you know, like running like 35k, is that I should have done the sensible option and just split it. Because here's the thing, I am just one person, right? I don't have anyone else that can stand in for me if I'm sick or anything like that. And so that's why I have to take really good care of myself. And so going forward, the sections that I run will be definitely a lot shorter, but then that means that I can do more research about the lines and the things, whatever. Or maybe I can be pleasantly surprised again, like last time. I don't know. But it was definitely a teaching point for me that, you know, just because, you know, oh, do like long distances, that doesn't make me like a better runner, you know what I'm saying? I think I was focusing so much on like pushing myself and like, oh, I'm gonna run this long distance, but in reality, I didn't need to do that because I'm also filming this as well. And I think that when you run such a long distance and trying to capture every little thing, and then like there's so much that's cut out, and especially, you know, now that winter is slowly approaching, the days are even shorter, and so my safety is always a priority for me. I don't want to jeopardize it by like running like into the dark, and you know what I mean? Like, I just need to be a bit more careful. I do always have a torch in my bag just in case, but I prefer not to use it. I have a torch and I'm not afraid to use it. And that's the side effect as well when you are running long distances. It's the fact that it just plays havoc with you, not gonna lie. And so that's why I don't want to, like I'm not running long distances in areas I'm familiar with. I'm running distances in new areas all the time. The last thing that I want to do is jeopardize my safety by running a long run in an area I don't know. It's just really stupid. Now, does that mean that I'm eliminating running long distances altogether? No. The thing that I would need to do is to be strategic about it. And so when it does come to like running long distances, that I would need to have someone that's with me, have a small team or something that's around me, rather than just trying to do it solo. I can't do everything by myself. All right, there we go. So finished this section, 8.4 kilometers, but I've officially ran Thameslink on the tube map and also the rail map. So that's that on that. What are my thoughts? Well, you know what? Thameslink was a beloved rail operator, and we shall meet again. Why is this like my railway eulogy? Nah, but for real, it was such a pleasure to run Thameslink and the network. I had so much fun exploring so many different areas, and there are many parts of the network that I would love to visit again in the future. Brent Cross West Station. I just want to extend a massive thank you to the team at Thameslink who have supported me throughout this journey so far. Just as I was packing my camera away, I was reminded of one small thing, and that was the total distance of running the Thameslink network. So if you take into consideration the tube map as well as the London rail map, yeah, I've not actually calculated the total distance, so here's the total distance. Which for those listening is 289.73 kilometres or 180.03 miles. So if you plan on running Thameslink on the London rail map and London tube map, there's your total. All right. But now that begs the question of, what is it that I'm going to be running next? What is the next thing? Well, I'm going to answer that for you right now, because over on my Patreon, I did actually put out a special poll to them asking which mode should I run next, and they had voted almost unanimously that out of Southeastern and Southwestern Railway, they voted... How long's this train? Jesus. So anyway, they voted Southwestern Railway. So as from next week, I'm going to be running the Southwestern Railway network on the London rail map. I'm so excited to see and explore the southwest of the network. Cannot wait to get my teeth into that one. So excited. Anyway, I want to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for making this channel and this video possible. And if you do want to support me on Patreon, check out the link in the description, runderground.run, as well as all of my social media and all of that good stuff. On that note, my name is Matt, and you have been watching Runderground, running on rail. And Thameslink, till we meet again. Thank you. I'm not going to cry over a railway, it's stupid. Bye.